Welcome back to Showbiz Tonight. It is 30 minutes past the hour. I'm AJ Hammer in New York. Thank you for watching. Tonight, we are bringing you a worldwide Showbiz exclusive. For the very first time, the 3 stars of America's Next Top Model, who were all just fired by Tyra Banks in their first TV interview together, and telling all about what really happened. Showbiz Tonight can tell you that they were the 3 big reasons to watch this show, and now they're all gone.
Well, good morning to you all.
Welcome to the iconic Sepulveda Dam, home to countless commercial and movie shoots, and of course, today's photo shoot.
Jay, you're being fantastic. Do you know how gorgeous you're posing right now?
I know. So gorgeous.
You just look stunning.
Photo shoot director Jay Manuel and runway coach Miss Jay Alexander with the show since it debuted some 9 years and 18 seasons of the show ago. Nigel Barker joined after the first season, and now they're all gone. But they are right here tonight for an exclusive Showbiz Newsmaker interview. I do appreciate you all being here.
Thanks for having us.
I know it's going to be a weird time. You guys were all with the show for so long, and I know it was a very good experience for all of you. Yeah. But really, how strange. Let me start with you. Do you feel blindsided by what happened? Did you see this coming, know it was coming down the line?
I think more than anything, I feel a little sad. I mean, you know, in as much as I had an incredible time, it defined a decade for myself. And, you know, you put your heart and soul into a show like this. And obviously, when it happens, it happens. But I feel that 18 seasons in, we had an incredible run. It was amazing for all of us. And when I think back and I see those clips, it's those moments that are just, you know, they make me laugh for the rest of my life.
And the moments that people didn't even see.
Absolutely.
That's hilarious.
Well, there's a whole show right there,
yeah,
I'm sure.
There is a whole show on the cutting room floor as well.
What about for you, Miss J? Was it a blindsiding event for you? Did you know that this was going to happen?
Well, I got flowers last week sent to me by Tyra at home in Paris for my birthday.
Your yellow roses, yes.
The orange yellow roses. Really
with the news or before you got the news?
No, that was before I got the news.
To soften the blow?
That's what I kind of thought. I said to myself, But the word fired, for me, I think your tone is very pointed right now, AJ, with that. Tone fired.
Well, you know what it is? At the end of the I know what he's saying. I'll protect you from Miss J, don't worry. I think it's because all our contracts were actually already done. So that's the thing that people don't know. And, you know, the show was at a point where they had to make a change. So when you say it was a surprise, you know, you hear all the different rumors from sponsor issues to on down with the show. It's not a huge surprise to us. They just didn't do new contracts with us, so we weren't really fired for doing something wrong, you know?
And I'm right there with you guys on that, by the way, because as soon as the news broke, you guys saw the headlines, I'm sure, as soon as they were coming out, and all said, judges fired. That's how people were putting it. Technically, your contracts weren't renewed.
They weren't, but our contracts have been renewed several times throughout this process, and even at, you know, as you can all see the judging panel, I'd certainly had multiple different people next to me. I mean, Miss J was a judge next to me, and he went on to do other, you know, things on the show, and people were replaced. It was a bit of a shock, nonetheless. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I was certainly not expecting it.
Right.
And, you know, but it's something that didn't surprise me. I had inklings about it, and certainly over the years, I'd been warned that, hey, perhaps I might be replaced earlier. You know,
I had a dream. That's why I think that cycle 14, no, seriously, that I wore the sleeves that were so huge. Because I thought, okay, Miss J, you have now in the ejector seat, so it could be possible.
Well, wait, actually, he did say that. He goes, I'm in the ejector seat now, and then, of course, you got to see him do the ejector seat out.
So I had to cushion the blow, so I thought, okay, that cycle, you should make sure that your shoulders are well cushioned, so I was prepared.
Well, after you got your yellow roses and after the news broke that Tyra Banks had not renewed your contracts or you guys were fired, however it's going to be put, we'll go with not renewed for right now. Here's what she went to Twitter and said: fierce and love to my Nigel Barker, Mr. J. Manuel, and Miss J. America's Next Top Model turned us into a family, excited for what the future holds for us. XOXO. Now, Miss J, are you feeling the XOXO from Miss Tyra Banks today, or are you feeling a bit betrayed? Because you were, after all, one of the very first people that Tyra reached out to with the whole idea of doing this show.
If I didn't talk to her, I would have been a bit annoyed. But we spoke on the phone, so I'm good. I'm so good. I mean, I think it's time, that we actually just kind of go on. I mean, it's very difficult for, for the fans, of course, to revolt.
Sure.
Because, when one leaves the position, you know, who's at fault here? Is it, you know, is it us? Is it the network? Is it the fans? I mean, who decides?
Well, this is the big question that's going on, and of course, everybody is looking for reasons as to why this happened. The fans want to know. It's very easy for people to point the finger at ratings, and that's the one thing that's been going around. But that being the case, do you guys feel like you've been a bit of a scapegoat, or can you sit back from it all and say, well, maybe we have something to do with the fact that the ratings were not
I mean,
what they once
look,
were?
I'm going to say it, I'm going to put it out there. For me, once I was removed from judging and then went back into the fields, and then, you know, my walking lessons were no longer involved in the show.
You're saying, so you're saying production...
He's saying that once he left judging, the ratings started going down.
Well, he's also saying production decisions may have affected that. I know that's what he's saying. But you actually had a great idea. You thought for Cycle 19, he actually just said this to me a few weeks ago. He said, the real scandal would have been Miss J back on the panel, bring back Janice, do a whole 360.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been interesting? You would have brought back old fans. Kind of a funny idea. I like that.
But obviously that's not the case. That isn't what happened, you know, and here we are. Sitting here right now, and it's, you know, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do that's going to renew it to what it was. I mean, we all would like to think that we are the heart and soul of the show, along with Tyra and the others. And so it's definitely a little confusing for the fans, and we're certainly going to go out there and do the best that we can.
What I'm also interested to know is if this in any way is kind of a relief. I mean, let's face it, I worked with Tyra from way back when, you know, more than 15, 16 years ago. I was out on shoots with her. I've had people who have worked on her shows. Her reputation precedes her. She is tough to work for, and that's well known. Also, the show was tough to do with 2 cycles a year, and there was a lot of pressure, plus you guys have other lives, too. Yeah. So, first of all, how tough was Tyra to work for, in your mind?
Well, you know, here's the thing. I'm a perfectionist, too. I usually demand a lot, you know, for people who work with me. No, it's true.
Could you imagine?
He's like,
no, I can't.
You know, it is, and I think that was actually our initial connection. I mean, I knew Tyra and worked with her well before America's Next Top Model. Actually, I remember when she called me at like 6 in the morning and said, I've got this idea for a show. And I think the fact that we all connected on the fact that we like to build something and be perfectionists, that's what really bonded us and made us this family. Yeah. But in terms of her being specifically difficult or rude, that's not Tyra's. She's not the type of person to walk out and out.
She just has a very strong work ethic and knows what she wants.
I'm sure we all do.
Yeah. Let me just ask you before we go, any thought of the 3 of you branching off, doing a show, just the 3 of you, another type of a fashion or modeling show? I mean, come on, let's break some news.
We'll get AJ, maybe he can host, and we could do America's Next Top Male Model. I don't know. There you go.
You could do America's Next Top.
The bottom line is we're available.
You hear that? They're available, and maybe they'll do something. And as long as, Ms. J, you don't make me do the walk.
For me, it's like, I know the walk. I mean, the relief for me is like, what in the hell am I going to wear now on judging? I mean, the outfits. I mean, you know, this is very difficult for me to come up with these ideas.
Well, you're on a plane ride to Paris right now, so think about it during that long flight. But it's great to see you guys, and I really appreciate you stopping by here to sort of explain to us exactly what happened with all this.
Great.
All right, Nigel Barker, J. Alexander, and J. Manuel. Thank you all so much.